This is a video review of Tobot Z. Tobot Z is one of the earliest Tobot figures, so he's not that great, but he is leagues above Tobot X and Y, who are both kind of... But this guy, except for some parts that are just a little bit too loose, really isn't that bad. He's the first Tobot that's really actually kind of worth owning. He's still not that great, but he's not too terrible. One thing to note before I really get into the figure is that the vehicle mode for this guy is roughly the same vehicle mode as for this guy, Adventure Z. I don't know why there's not an Evolution Z. Maybe I'm just missing the figure or it's super rare or something, but I haven't really been able to find any mention of Evolution Z. But yeah, anyway. I'm keeping this guy in robot mode now, just so that I can compare these guys in robot mode when I get that guy transformed, but just know that the car modes are very similar, just vaguely different. They're both basically all-terrain SUV-type vehicles. Anyway, here's the car mode itself. It's really quite nice. It's big, bulky, solid. Nothing really compresses or is mushy under the hands. The doors are a little bit, but that's not too bad. And it's overall a pretty nice car. It rolls pretty well, and that's about it. Before we get into the actual transformation itself, he comes to this little watch thing that is where his toe key is stored. And it's a pretty decent little watch thing, kind of, I guess. I mean, it's too small to fit on my big, manly American wrist, but for a little kid, it would fit on quite well. What it's supposed to do is, there are, the thing came with a little round inlets that you could put in here that would be like, someone's face. It would be like, it's a communication watch, so you can see who you're talking to. I don't know what actually happened to those little platelet things since I've had this for a while, but one thing I do remember is that when I put them in, their radius was too long for them to actually sit in there. They overlapped this little indentation area, so you couldn't actually close it around it. So it didn't really work, and that's also why I didn't keep track of them. I would have if they actually did work, but anyway, that's what this is supposed to be. You need the toe key to transform this guy. He's one of the ones where you do have to keep track of it. And what you want to do is there's a slot right here. You want to push the key in here, and it'll pop up like that. And that's all you really need this for, so once you're done with it, just toss it to the side. Now, transforming this guy can be a little bit tricky, especially going to the vehicle mode, because the doors here, when you attach the doors to the back here, you take this little tab that's in there and you put it into this little slot that's right there. But the problem is that this thing doesn't really tab in by itself, so try and keep this thing where it's supposed to be and keep it this in and keep everything else from untabbing can be kind of a nightmare. So I don't really want to go through showing that because it really is annoying, but just know that's a problem with the figure. So to continue on, we'll just be pulling the arms out like this. And let's see, after this you want to take the back section here, pop it up. Then you'll take this section here, you'll pop it over like this. You'll pop the head up here. And then what you want to do with the arms is you want to bring them down like this and then fold this up like that. And that'll give you the room you need to kind of get in there and pop this up. You also pop the wheels in like that. So do this to the other side. Pop that up. Then you can bring the arms forward like that. And you are going to fold the little windshields in here like this and down there. And that's basically its upper body done. This will just kind of stay loose for now. You'll come to the back, you'll pull these away, and then you'll pop this up here, and it'll tab in up there, or it'll click in. Then you can bring the legs down like this, snap those together up there, bring the legs down again on these ratchets. Let's see. I'm not actually sure which position is straight. There, I guess that's it. And then you'll fold this up either like this, or you'll bring it back up and like this. Neither way really works because this thing will just fall back down anyway. What you'll basically want to do if you get this guy is tighten that joint. In fact, there are quite a few things that you will want to tighten, like this thing doesn't really tab in anymore. So you want to tighten that right there and that and there. You'll want to tighten this and this. You'll want to tighten these, and actually that's about it. There are quite a few things that you will want to tighten on this guy though, otherwise he'll be somewhat floppy-ish. And one thing that's included on what you want to tighten on it is maybe some of the ratchets, because like this ratchet is fine, this ratchet is not. So if I just drag him along, he'll kind of scoot out to the side. If I do it the other way, it won't really happen. So And not that you'll be dragging him along like that, but that joint right there, at least on mine, is a bit too loose, so sometimes he'll just do that. Anyway, this thing is so annoying back here. But anyway, this is his robot mode. And here it is compared to his Evolution Z form. As you can see, his, there, it just collapsed again, that joint. As you can see, it is actually quite a nice looking figure. It's pretty big and bulky. It's a little bit weird looking with its proportions. It's not quite heroic, but it's not too terrible. And the plastic quality's nice. There aren't any huge quality control issues. He'll actually stand quite well. He doesn't pose very well, but that's not too big of a deal with Tobots, because most Tobots can't. But he stands without too much issue, whereas X and Y did not. For posability, the arms rotate around 360. They're on ratchets. They'll go in and out on ratchets again. Bend here, it kind of feels like it's on a ratchet, but not really. The head will rotate side to side and a little bit up and down. And that's about all you get. You get a waist joint here. Legs go forward and back, in and out, bend at the knee, and then you can move the foot back and forth like this. So let's try and get him into any kind of pose. I mean, you can get him into some stuff, kinda. He does need his joints tightened, probably, to do this a bit better, especially down on his feet. Because, yeah, that was just because the joints collapsed. If you tighten the joints at all, that probably would... He would hold the pose quite well. So, for the very first Tobot figures, he really is quite nice, and he works quite well. And I really like how the wheel wells there end up being some kind of shoulder armor there. I think that looks kind of interesting. I would not recommend him as your first Tobot figure. I would recommend something like Evolution Y or Evolution X, or any of the Evolution figures. Actually, there are only two. Any of the adventure figures are fine. Any of the combiners are fine too, except for Titan, which is the first combiner. I'll review him soon enough, but just anything that's not one of the first 4 figures that came out, which would be, well, X, Y, Z, and Titan. Anything after that's probably fine for your first, although C's not that great. Anyway, this has been a review of Tobot Z. I do vaguely recommend him if you're into Tobots already and you are a bit of a completionist. He's certainly not the worst figure you could get. And yeah, I reviewed Transformers, Power Rangers, Digimon, Tobots, lots of stuff like that. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.